Hey, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah. Oh,
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, I ain't seen a lot going on this past week. There's still talk about the whole Bud Light, Miller Lite crap, and it just gets worse and worse for them. They're talking about how Indiana Jones 5 is flopped majorly. They put a lot of the blame on Kennedy and the woman who co-stars with him, and all the feminism crap. So apparently it's not a good movie. I haven't seen it yet, so but I'm pretty guessing it's not that great. But we knew that it wasn't going to be. Everybody knows The Little Mermaid is bombed. It's shit. Everybody knew it would be too. I did see something where they were making fun of it because the poster for China, they made her skin blue like the water, like she's really deep in the water. Instead of showing that she's black, it was for the Chinese poster. They're so racist over there. It's not even funny. They don't like black people at all. I don't get it. I don't know why, but they don't. I saw the CW canceled their production of the television show, live action adaptation of the Powerpuff Girls. So that's no longer a thing. They quit that shit. Anyways, that's pretty much it as far as news-wise goes. Like I said, I didn't see a bunch of stuff going on this past week. Nothing really major, except the Democrats want to raise the whole debt ceiling even higher so they can spend more money instead of defaulting like the Republicans want to do, and bring down the spending and try to work on recovering from the debt. But it's probably not going to happen now since the Democrats, since Obama raised it so high. Trump was bringing it down, and then Biden came in and raised it even way freaking higher. So I don't know. Regardless, we got to stop putting Democrats in the office because they're just ridiculous. Alright, let's get on to move on to what I really want to talk about. This will probably be a short video. I just, not too long ago, got done binge watching the show called The Glades. It's like a cop detective show. This guy, he moves, I can't remember where he moved from. He moved from somewhere like Chicago or some shit like that. And he moved to Florida in this small town or whatever. And he's, I like shows where the main character in like a detective situation is kind of a smart ass, but he's usually right. Everybody hates the fact that he's usually always right about shit. How he does it, they can't figure out how he solves the case, but he does, kind of thing. And this is kind of like that. You know, it's not a female lead like they just keep blasting the past several years. There's always a female lead, female cop, blah blah blah. You know, she solves crimes. Blah, 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 blah. I'm so sick of seeing that crap. But anyway, this one's a guy. I'm not too fond of his girlfriend at first. There's only 4 seasons. I'm not too fond of his girlfriend at first. I mean, she's alright looking, but she's not really that good looking. And she makes it kind of a pain in the ass for him to like her because she's constantly throwing him under the bus. Like one minute he does this really nice thing for her, and then she shits on him for doing it. And she does that quite often. And I was told, you know, oh, well, it's complicated and shit. I don't give a fuck if it's complicated or not, her situation, you know. You know, she's got a boyfriend who's in jail, yada yada. He's done some shitty crap. And she's got a son by him who turns out to be a real little shit. He's a pain in the ass, her boy. He's very hateful. Anyways, the Mexican dude or the Cuban guy or whatever he is, he's okay. He didn't really bother me all that much, but he tries to be funny throughout the series, and it's just, I don't know, the chemistry between the main guy and him, it's off. You know, there's a couple times where he's kind of funny, but the rest of the time, the rest of the show, it's off. It didn't feel right. I didn't care too much for his character. He's okay, he just wasn't that great. They didn't bounce off each other like they should have. The nerdy dude that played the nerdy guy or whatever, he was okay. He didn't bother me. I think the character could have been better, and if done right, it could have been funny and comical as well. But it just seemed like they were beating up on him instead of actually being funny with the character. So, the Black Lieutenant or whatever, I really don't care for her. I never have. I say, hell no. I definitely don't like her in the new Star Trek Picard crap, where she plays a referee or raffer, or I can't pronounce her name. I can't think of Raffi, I think it's Raffi. I think it's called Raffi. I can't stand that character at all. Anyways, I didn't care for her. She's alright in this show. But I'm just not a big fan. And understand I watched Picard before I watched this show, so naturally I already didn't like her. But she did okay in this show. I just not a big fan. But anyways, with the situation with the girlfriend in the show, I just didn't care for her. I think she was being a kind of a feminist bitch through most of the show. I didn't care for it. She didn't come around till like the very last season. You know, things got worked out a little bit and blah blah blah. And then she started liking him, you know, blah blah blah. You know, it was just kind of weird. It was more like a situationship than a relationship. It's fucked up. But anyways, I like the show for the most part because of him. If it wasn't for him, the main guy, I wouldn't have watched the show. Because the rest of it pretty much, you know, all the other characters I really wasn't a big fan of. Just him. He actually had enough gumph for me to keep interested in the show. Because I like the fact that he pissed people off because he knew what the fuck they were doing or what they were up to, and he'd catch them at it. I like lead characters that are like that. They're funny. They piss the people who are involved in the case off and shit until he finds the murder. And you don't see that anymore in most of these detective shows. It's always, like I said, it's always some fucked up female lead driven show, and it just feminist crap, and it just sucks. That's why I don't like most of the shows on today. But overall, the show was okay. I binge watched pretty quick through the whole show, but that's because I'm always trying to find something new to watch. But most of the new shit I don't care for. I always have to go back and watch the old stuff. I definitely give the show, a thumbs up and a thumbs down. If you like detective murder mystery shows, it's definitely worth a watch. You just have to kind of look past some of the feminism crap from the girlfriend, and the fact that his co-stars aren't really that funny, even though they try to be. Most of the time, they just aren't. He's the one who keeps the show going. Now, the main thing I didn't like about the show was at the very end, they claim they're getting ready to do a season 5, and then they cut off the show, and they leave this huge cliffhanger as to what happened. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but needless to say, it was a BS ending. It is a huge cliffhanger, and they have not gotten any word to do another season since then. It's been a little while, so I don't think they're going to continue the show. They're just going to fuck their audience and tell them to fuck off, and it's kind of bullshit. But anyways, that is my take on the Glades. Let's move on to your B movie reviews. Okay, Movieholics. This week is Action Week. And like I said, I'm trying to get through a bunch of the old 80s kung fu flicks for action. I'm trying to get through a big list that was given to me. This week we are doing the third of the series of the Lucky Stars movies. Like I said before, there's a bunch of spin-offs on this after this, but I'm just doing the original trilogy. It's called Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars. It was done in 1985. Didn't find no box office numbers. Of course, it has Sammo Hung in it, and Rosamund Kwan, I guess is how you pronounce her name. I may be pronouncing that wrong. And Jackie Chan's in it, but he's not in it like the other previous ones. He's only in it for maybe a couple minutes or so. He has various scenes in the movie, but it's only for like a few seconds each time. Rosamund Kwan, the woman she returns as Inspector Yown or some shit like that. I can't remember her character's name. But anyways, these Lucky Stars movies, they usually, Sammo Hung and Jackie Chan been friends for years. They're like best buddies. So naturally, you usually see them together in these Hong Kong movies. In this one, they're trying to stop this group trying to kill Muscles and this other dude, his partner or whatever, this drug ring or whatever. They're trying to stop them. And of course, Inspector Yan or whatever her name is, she comes to Sammo Hung's character and his, four buddies or whatever to see if he would help her stop him from hurting or killing, Muscles, which is Jackie Chan's character, and another dude. She's hoping to get their help in solving the case. She basically tells Sammo Hung's character that she lied before, she's not in love with him, and all this other bullshit. But they also got to protect this woman. She's like a key witness to part of this gang's murder. They murdered this really important guy, I guess. He was supposed to send them a letter, so they went there to get the letter, and apparently they hired these 3 killers to kill them. So, besides the cops, so she leaves this woman and her, I guess it's a good friend of hers or something, almost like a brother, sort of. They leave them together with the 5 guys at Sammo Hung's group. And it basically, like the other previous ones, most of the movie is just goofy slapstick. They tried to do comedy, and it's just not funny. I think there was 1, maybe 2 scenes in the whole movie that was actually funny. But yeah, like before, to the inspector, they also try with the witness woman. They do the whole groping and all kinds of crap, like that's funny or whatever, but it's not. It's just several guys, supposedly horny guys. Most of the movies, them trying to grope this woman. It's just kind of fucking dumb. And then they try it on another group of women. It's just ridiculous. But anyways, that's what the movie's mainly about. You're watching that crap. You get like a 20-minute action scene at the end of the movie, pretty much like the other 2 previous movies. I mean, the action scene was great, but the rest of the movie just sucked. I didn't care for it. I liked the action scene at the very end, and that was about it. So I give it a thumbs up and thumbs down. It was okay, but it wasn't that great. Like I said, 20 minutes of action at the end of the movie. Whoop-de-doo. Alright, moving on to the next one. The next one, of course, was Dragons Forever. It was done in 1988. No box office numbers. Now, this one did star Jackie Chan. and of course Sammo Hung was in it. Uh, and then Pauline Yoon was the main female lead. There's another woman in there who plays like her older cousin kind of thing. Anyway, plays this attorney who's working for this bad dude who owns a chemical plant, but he's also like a drug dealer, and he wants this woman's property. So he ends up trying to coerce the younger cousin, and he gets Sammo Hung to try to coerce the older cousin, and they basically fall in love with them, blah blah blah, when they're trying to do it, to try to get them to sell the property, because Jackie Chan's like the attorney for the crook dude, even though he doesn't know that he's like a drug dealer. He just thinks he's trying to get the property. He doesn't know about the drug dealer part till later on. Well, he introduces another buddy of his to try to plant a bug in their building or whatever apartment, and it gets all fucked up. They do quite a bit of fighting back and forth. There are several action scenes. The girls find out what they're really doing, and then something happens and it gets all turned around. The girls decide to help them out, and they're in love again, blah blah blah. It's one of those things. One minute they're falling in love, the next minute they find out what they're really doing, so they kick them to the curb, and then they find out that they really do love them, and they take them back, and blah blah blah. One of them kind of scenarios. Now towards the end you have this huge fight scene with Jackie Chan and the other buddy of his, and then Sammo Hung, he's pretty screwed up. They drugged the crap out of him through most of the fight scene. Even the girl, the Jackie Chan's supposed girlfriend or whatever, she gets into it and does a little bit of action too. But you have the guy, the white guy with the ponytail, who's a henchman and the badass of the group of all the henchmen. He's actually in a few other Hong Kong movies because he's a choreographer, a big famous one over there, and he's done several of the Jackie Chan Sammo Hung movies, choreographing it. And he also usually plays some kind of henchman or bad guy, so he's not new to the action scene with Jackie Chan and stuff. He's done it several times before, and it's usually pretty good. This movie, as far as the action goes, it's pretty good. There are a couple scenes that are kind of funny due to Jackie Chan. Sammo Hung tries to be funny a lot of times. Sometimes he is, sometimes he's not. It don't set well. The other guy, the third guy, who's also in real life, he's a friend of theirs. They all went to drama theater over in Hong Kong together, so they're all real good friends. I can't think of his name, but he's not funny. He should just stick to the action. Overall, though, as far as a Hong Kong Kung Fu flick, I give it 2 thumbs up. The action was great. You had quite a bit of action throughout the entire movie, which made it far more bearable than the Lucky Stars movies. Check it out if you're into, the Hong Kong Kung Fu movies. This one's a good one. Okay, with that being said, if you have any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you have any, you can think of any movies that, are underrated or you think I may never have even heard of, and would like to check them out, like B-rated movies, that kind of stuff, any genre, leave your suggestions down in the comment sections down below, and I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. So until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you just been told.